In this lesson, we're going to cover various techniques that you can use when configuring an Adobe campaign implementation in order to enforce good practices, best practices, and meet business requirements across the platform. We'll be learning how to use techniques such as templates. Now, in Adobe Campaign, you can pre-configure many campaign-related objects, and this is kind of like mom and apple pie. It's basically going to allow you to save time through reuse, and by having a lot of the settings pre-configured in a template, that's going to make it easier for marketers because they don't need to have the technical expertise that they would otherwise need to go in and to set and to adjust these settings appropriately. It's also going to make sure that business processes around who should be targeted, what content can go out, and when approval steps are needed for different steps in the process, it's going to allow you to standardize those across the business and enforce those business rules. One of the techniques that we're going to rely on is the use of templates. And in Adobe Campaign, most campaign-related objects are configured based on templates. And this is no accident. This is to allow you to have these pre-configured settings. And we'll see that campaigns, deliveries, workflows, both technical workflows, but in our case, we're primarily concerned with campaign workflows, and web applications such as web forms, landing pages, and surveys are all configured based on templates. Adobe Campaign provides templates out of the box, but you can take those and use them as a starting point to create your own custom templates. And keep in mind that these templates define the configuration points, so basically what are the properties that can be adjusted or set, and also provides default values. So in order to extend the set of these factory or built-in templates with your own custom templates, you're going to duplicate one of the factory templates and use that as a starting point. And then this will allow you to pre-configure settings the way that you'd like them to be configured for your business. So for example, out of the box, we provide a single delivery template for each channel. You might want to have multiple, for example, email templates, one for newsletters, one for ad hoc deliveries, one for welcoming new clients, new customers, and one for your loyalty program. So again, you can have as many custom templates as you want, and these will support your various campaigns. To create a delivery template, you're going to go to the default location for these templates, which is under Resources Delivery Templates. And then you're going to select the template that you want to use as your starting point. And you should base this on channel. As I said, Adobe Campaign provides one template for each channel. So if you're creating a template to use with email deliveries, you would start with the default email template. You're going to right-click on it and then choose Duplicate to basically create a new template in that same default location. Or you can say Duplicate to, and this will allow you to create a new template in another location, for example, under one of your data partitions, and then basically change as well the execution folder, which is where deliveries based on the template will get created. Now, in fact, you can go ahead and duplicate the template and then drag and drop it to its final location as well. Once the copy has been created, you're going to go in and now configure some of the delivery properties according to your business requirements, such as I said, the execution folder, the address, the from and reply to addresses that will appear on the deliveries, your business rules, again, regarding who can be targeted and what the content requirements are going to be, and also any branding that you would like to build in. There's other delivery properties that you can set as well on the template, whether to use the digital content editor if you're in 6.1 or higher, as well as the delivery retry period, the length of time to keep mirror page links and other links in the delivery active. So there's a lot of pre-configuration that can happen here. Here we're seeing the location of the default delivery templates folder, and it's under campaign execution, then resources, and then delivery templates. And you can see there that the factory templates are actually distinguished by the fact that they're in bold font. And you can see that we have one of those built-in templates for each channel. So to create an email template, a custom email template, we go to the email delivery template, right-click and choose Duplicate To. And now we're going to be brought into the wizard. And the wizard's going to prompt us to basically change these settings. You want to go ahead and provide a new label for the template. It's a good idea to set a unique internal name as well to distinguish that this is a template, and also because it will make it easier for a user to be sure they're using the right template, although they'll be primarily working off of the label. When deliveries are created, those get the automatically generated internal name. So the fact that you change the internal name will be a good indicator that this is a template and not just a particular instance of a delivery. You can set the execution folder, which is where deliveries based on this template are going to reside, as opposed to having all deliveries going into one common folder. You could have the deliveries, again, under a partition. And then the folder where the template itself is going to live, which again, if you're using data partitions, it might be under a particular partition. So for example, for a client that is using data partitions for different labels, example, for a music business or for different brands, it would make sense to have the template go under that partition because the template will have specifics in it, such as the reply to and the from address, and even perhaps some of the built-in header and footer information that are specific to that brand or label. So let's go ahead and do the exercise for creating a delivery template. And you'll now be working as the administrator who's configuring, again, these campaign-related objects. I'm in my Explorer view, and you see I have my data partition for the Massachusetts region. I'm going to go up to Resources, Templates, and Delivery Templates, which is the default location for this version of Adobe Campaign. And I see that I have, again, my built-in email delivery template. I'm going to right-click and select Duplicate To. And this will bring up the wizard. I'm going to go ahead and change the label to MA for Mass Email Delivery. And for the execution folder, I'm going to choose that deliveries folder underneath my data partition. Again, the execution folder is where deliveries based on this template will reside. So for example, if we were to use this delivery template in a workflow delivery activity, the delivery would be linked to the campaign on the campaign dashboard, but that delivery would actually, in terms of folders, reside here. And then the folder is where the template's going to live. And again, I'll use my data partition specific folder. And click Continue. Now I do want to go into the delivery properties and assign a unique internal name. So I'll call this MA email. Again, the factory email delivery template is just called email. So I'm going to stick with that convention, but prefix it with my data partition. Again, if I wanted to go into the delivery template and change the typology or business rules that are in effect, which we're going to do in the next section of this lesson, I could do so here. I could change the retry period as well as the number of days that we'll attempt to deliver. You can also see here that the resources such as the mirror page, will be kept for 60 days. And again, that's a setting that's configurable. On the Advanced tab, you may want to say that this template is using the new digital content editor, which allows marketers to modify blocks to basically work with the content as blocks of images and text. And we could incorporate a certain content model as well if we're using content management. Typically, the from address would be particular to that to the template. For training purposes, I'm going to just stick with the default here for the environment. And again, I could go ahead and pre-configure the delivery content with a header and a footer, etc., if I wanted to. Now, if this delivery template is going to be used with standalone rather than in a campaign workflow, I may want to pre-configure the population. So, for example, if this was going to be used to send out ad hoc deliveries, I could say, go ahead and target everyone included in this data partition. So I'll use recipients included in a folder, and I'll select my Massachusetts recipients and save that. And now I want to save my template. So now I see that I have my delivery template that's specific to this data partition. Now, to test this delivery template, I would go in as my partition user and send a delivery using this delivery template. That user would come into the deliveries folder and create a new delivery. Select the correct template, and you'll see that it will be available to that partition user. Enter a subject line. And some content. And if you're just testing, you can just enter test here. But you may also want to include some of the standard content. You can always go ahead and include the link to the mirror page, test, and a greeting and unsubscription link. That will allow you to preview the delivery with the delivery target population or any recipient in your data mart. I'm going to go ahead and save this delivery. And when I'm ready, I can send the delivery out. In order to send the delivery, I'm going to open it. And again, when we're sending the delivery outside the context of a workflow, we're going to manually go through the delivery execution steps. So I'm going to click on send here in the upper right, and I want to deliver as soon as possible. Then I can go ahead and analyze the delivery second time. And I should see now that I have one message to send. So I'll confirm the delivery, and that message will go out. And now I can go into the delivery logs and see, in fact, that that message is going out to Stinson at adobe.com.